top of the hour. And
Yeah. Well, it's the top of the hour and another Thursday night in Riverbend and another Riverbend Talent on the Big Z brought to you by the Halpin Music Company and Mr. Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. We got a line out coming at the top of the hour. We'll join that in progress as the pregame's actually 6:30, but we don't have to deal with that. We're going to get them in progress.
I'm pre-gaming
Sea
now.
Shanty sing-along underway down at Morrison's Irish Pub until 9. Drew Lance and Guest at Past Eddie's until 10 o'clock. Matt Tall underway at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville until 9. Drew and Audrey at the cabin at Judy Creek until 9 o'clock. Strings and Keys from 7 to 11 at Deutz Village Inn and Pontoon Beach. Jeremy Drake underway without the Shotgun Creek, just in until 8:30. The Prairie Inn in Dorsey. And now you can talk, Big Ben.
I don't want to talk now.
Yeah, well, I get to nap now. Okay?
Yeah, nap time, 6:01. You said the pregame starts at 6:30. I started pregaming like a long time ago.
You need some new jokes.
But I went to
joke you stole from me on the first.
I went to newjokes.com and they were the same jokes as yesterday. I don't know who's updating that.
That's my patent pending. You can't even use it, man. I'm gonna talk to my lawyer.
Let's get ready to. Oh, I better not say it. Get sued. All right. So we have returning guests. I always like returning guests because I feel like I might actually know. No, I know Chris Vandehe in the biblical way. No, that's not true. What does that mean? So, welcome back, Birds of Squalor.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It's got to be out here a third, fourth time on. I don't know, but it's always fun. Ah, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Yep, forgot to silence my phone. I'm such a rookie at this. So, let's before we jump into the Birds of Squalor, you guys are playing Pointfest. We're going to get to that. First, there's the looming question that Dennis was asking right before we went on the air. Jeremy Drake, what are you doing now without Raging Cajun? How are you spending your time?
No, that's not at all what I said.
Ah, okay.
Jeremy Drake's playing it.
Oh yeah, you know what? I was just looking down at that thing.
I was like, who are you talking to? Is there a fourth person in here that I don't know about?
It just proves that I was pre-gaming. It wasn't just a joke. It was actually true.
Everyone
slightly
knows it's not a
concerned.
joke. But, I mean, even if you didn't pre-game, you'd be that way.
Yeah.
So,
No,
I think it's an
This
answer.
is
So something
true.
to put on your opening list that you have there. The conservatory is now running almost kind of like a spiritual successor. Successor. Thank you.
Right.
Of my open mic.
I actually blew right past that.
Yep. So Scotty, my original co-host down at Cajun, kind of is taking over the reins of that, and it's doing great. They started off on Wednesdays, but now they're officially doing it on Thursdays, just like they used to. So.
All right.
So that's Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie Dunn. I know. I was looking down at this paper and I read the name Jeremy Drake. I don't know why.
He used to do the open mic at Raging Cajun.
Right.
Yep.
Right?
See, JD.
That's not a band.
Yeah.
Just straighten you out, man. You're up to date.
I believe me. My nephew.
Should we replay what you said just to see if you
Stenographer, read that back. No, I know what Raging Cajun is. Matter of fact, that's my nephew Michael Copeland is that was his hangout. So I would hear about everything.
Yeah, but
Raging
thanks to Jamie
and
for pointing out that I skipped right past the open mic tonight at the conservatory, which I think started last week.
And we're actually going to go crash that after this. So.
I would.
Nice, yeah. So that's every Thursday night. What time is that starting?
So they are. I believe they start actually performing at 8, and make sure to get there pretty quickly because the list does fill up.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's like 8 to 11:30 midnight.
Okay. Just depending on how the list lays out, I guess. Excellent. And when did that start?
I would say at the top of the new year.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Yep.
So
2025 year of the conservatory.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look up the Chinese calendar, no, I don't know. I don't know if any of this is true. So now back to the birds. I wanted to clear that up because we were kind of talking about it, and I was so confused on what was happening. I didn't even know you weren't Jeremy Drake for a minute. Anyway,
it's a much better name.
Yeah. Jamie Dunn. What kind? Don't come in here with that name. Work on your name now. Anyway, so
We'll change it for you.
Back to the. Can I call you Opal the Hot Night? So Birds of Squalor got some gigs coming up. Not just the Road to Pointfest, although that's a pretty sweet one to be involved in. Let's talk about that. What's the date on that particular?
Yeah, so tonight we have Mr. I'm Chris, guitar for Birds of Squalor.
Thank you for introducing yourself. See,
My name's Nate. I'm the drummer.
You can tell they've been here and know you're going to just blow it.
Well, and if Jeremy Drake doesn't introduce himself, then I'll never know it's Jamie Dunn.
And I'm Jamie Dunn, the lead singer of Birds of Squalor.
See, now, if you guys would have introduced yourself at the top of the show like a good guest does, I wouldn't have messed this up so bad.
Or you were doing it for me.
Jamie Dunn and Nate.
Yeah. Nathan Diggs, special agent Jiggs, the name that he got from being on this show.
Diggity. Nathan Diggity.
You do say that.
Oh, it's changing.
Yeah.
I have a lot of nicknames.
Including the one given to him by the frog, Diggums. Diggum. I'm sorry. I've got cereal on my brain. So you guys, back to what's really happening
February
here. Nate,
28th.
well, welcome to the show, Nate.
Pointfest.
Thank you.
We were going to get to that, but then Chris had to introduce himself.
Right, because I didn't.
Should we do station identification too?
Here's
Lydia took care of that.
Here's the thing. I forget that we're on radio. I think we're just hanging out, talking,
yeah.
and for some reason we're wearing headphones. Just because it makes us look cool.
Right.
For some reason, there's a board, there's a mic. I don't know. It's
Some little
just
tiny
something.
cameras.
That's like
You
everywhere
go
I
to
go.
dinner with him, and there's microphones. Right?
It is. I have a weird dinner table.
Hey, it's like Prince. You got the whole house mic'd up. You never know when inspiration's going to hit.
Fake
Right.
news, fake news.
And I wear a purple blouse everywhere. Just like Prince. All right. So February 28th.
Yeah, we're going to
Road to Pointfest.
Yep.
And this is, as I said, according to the Chinese calendar, the year of the Birds of Squalor. I don't know what I said earlier. See, I already forgot what year it was. The year of the birds.
Yeah, we got a lot of exciting stuff coming down the pipeline. So
Yep.
Yeah, and so the Road to Pointfest. Anybody out there going, "What's the Road to Pointfest?" It's been happening year after year now, where the big Pointfest show happens in the summer over at I guess.
Right. No.
What we all
Hollywood
call,
Casino.
Yeah, we all
Hollywood
call
Casino.
what everyone our age knows is Riverport.
I believe it's 311 this year.
Yeah.
Am I right? And The Urge.
Yep.
Oh
It's a
wow!
lot of local stuff. They actually have a band. Whoever booked this, kind of keeps their eye or their ear to the ground for the Midwest area. They have a band coming in from Nashville that's apparently going to be pretty good. So I'm excited to see them. They're big up and comers. I don't remember the name. I'll have to look it up again. What the flyer says, but I'm excited to see them too. So because for the past couple of years we've just been going just to enjoy the music and stuff, and it's always funny when they announce it, seeing the conversation online around the lineup and everything, and it never fails to irk some crowds, and then others that are like whatever, because past couple of years been a little bit more modern music and stuff like that, and maybe a little bit heavier, and then this is kind of like almost like a throwback thing, but more or less with rock being what it is these days, gone are the days of the 30 bands for $30 and all that kind of stuff.
you're talking about Ludo?
No, not Ludo. These guys are from Nashville. Ludo's from St. Louis.
Yeah.
But that, and then obviously the big T this year was the artwork, the flyer that everybody was like, oh, it's AI. How dare they do this thing? And apparently they ran a contest on Instagram, I guess, and the guy's defending it, saying it's all original artwork, but there's a lot of people out there saying like, it looks AI, so, or at least parts of it are AI, so it's going into the future can always be a thing here, what's real, what's not, that kind of thing.
The cool thing
can't
is
tell.
to know how to identify AI now.
Yeah.
If you want to comment on things.
Yeah, and they have AI hunters. It's like AI that
That's
figure
right.
out if it's AI.
Wow. So you made the comment.
Unsocial media.
The most unsocial media yet. 10% more unsocial than your average media.
Yeah.
Anti-social media.
Right.
So you made the comment there that they put the artwork online, or when they put the lineup online, somebody, there's always like, oh, I don't like this lineup, I wish it was old school, or oh, this is too old school for me. here's the thing. No matter what you say, you could say, I love everybody and I hope everybody loves everybody else. And somebody, I hate you for saying that.
Yeah.
You know, all comments would range from I hate you to racial slurs, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's what they seem to range on everything. I mean, no matter what you say, somebody... there's a lot of people just dying to hate you out there.
Yeah,
you know?
some people get off on it. You know, they're like, "Oh, I just like need to put other people down because, like, you know, it makes they're sad inside, so they got to put everybody else down instead of like congratulating them, or supporting them or whatever." And they just have to do that because they hate themselves, so they got to make sure everybody else tries to make them hate themselves too. So it's like, just stay away from it.
We're called trolls, don't you say somebody?
Yeah. Quite honestly, it's been going on since the internet came in your mailbox, right? Remember it used to come in your mailbox in this little card, and you'd have to log on to AOL with this little card, right? And
You put the phone on.
right.
Yeah.
So, for those just tuning in, wondering if this is a radio show,
It's not.
It's called Root Band Talent. It's brought to you by the Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Voorhis and Macias Insurance. It is not the point, but we like to talk about Road to Pointfest because it's an opportunity for local bands to get to play the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, where they have national acts come in for Pointfest. So it gives you more exposure because people come to see the national acts and they see your band. Now, from what I remember, there's 2 stages, right? There's the main stage, and then there's 3 stages. Right?
2
got
side
the 3
stages.
signal.
Actually,
Or-
four, because there's the Pops local stage, then there's the 2 side stages.
One on each
Wow,
side
this
of the
thing's
main
grown.
stage,
And
And then they have the main stage.
The biggest I've seen at Hollywood Amphitheater, or whatever it's called, Hollywood Casino, was a warp tour that had 7 or 8 stages going on, and I'm like, this is so much. You can't possibly see it all.
Yeah.
But
So
they
the
have
Road to Pointfest, though, is a competition to see if your band can be one of those bands that get to play over there.
right.
Okay, finished. Just
So-
wanted to catch the audience
hold on, I'll
who's
finish.
going, what is this guy talking about?
Finished. Okay. So no, as Dennis said, a lot of bands, a lot of local bands get to compete to try to play the big show, and it's multiple shows. It goes over a month or something, where they're doing shows at Pops. Each time a winner is picked from those shows, and then all of the winners go head to head to see who's going to get to play that Road to Pointfest and who gets to go backstage
kinda
with 311.
Change too over the
Yeah,
years, I'm
so-
pretty sure. So now they're selecting bands by how many tickets they sell, basically.
Yeah.
Well,
There's multiple factors.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I was confused last year because they kind of reformatted it. It used to be called Battle for Pointfest, and they've kind of dropped the battle and just call it Road to Pointfest now. Because at the end of the day, it's still a separate celebration of local music and everybody getting together and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like that better.
Yeah, but there is some some categories you get judged on, and you get 10 points per category, right, to make up
The
to
least hair.
Yeah, the least. I definitely. Both the guitar players are like bald, so we get extra points there. But
You're just shiny.
but one of the categories for points is you get 10 points per category to make up 100 points. One of the categories for 10 points is ticket sales and attendance, and you can sell tickets, yes, but you get more points if people actually show up. So attendance is huge, and that's what we're really kind of pushing for, which is great because you want people there that are actually going to, come see the bands and all that kind of stuff. They gave us 100 tickets. We have less than 30 right now. We're going to get some, and we're just under a month out, so that's great.
Yes.
But we got to make sure that people are actually there, which is also the other caveat. But the cool thing too is that because they have so there's 40 bands total, right, out of all the rounds. There's 5 at each. And then the winning band gets to play Pointfest no matter what. But they get to play the Pops local stage no matter what, right?
Okay.
Then every winner from those 8 sessions goes on to the finals, and they'll pick 2 out of that to play the main side stage. So then the other 8 bands play the Pops local. 2 of the ones there get to play the main side stage and do their thing there. So there's 40 bands total, and 2 of them are going to get to play the main side stage, but then 8 others get to play the Pops local stage. So that was kind of confusing last year on how they were doing some of the stuff, and we did get caught up on all that and everything. So, but I like the way that they're running it. Tony Willingham from Beyond FM, he's the LD and does podcasting out of Pops, and then Chris Coleman, their kind of head engineer person, and they got together and kind of reformatted the whole battle and everything like that. And I think it's a much better community thing now for everybody. So,
And almost everything you said there rings so true with the way I see it. Just first with the wording. Let's change the battle. Why we got to fight today? Let's just hang out and have a party. That's why I always prefer the festivals over Battle of the Bands kind of thing. Just because I ain't battling here, man.
Right.
Battling to see who can get the most wasted.
And that's actually
Who can buy me the most shots?
Right.
And that's actually kind of whenever we brought it up. That's actually kind of how we initially attacked the idea of trying to be a part of this. Is that just pretend it's another show.
Yeah.
Just another show for exposure. Just another show to have a good time at.
Yeah. Well, the way that you kind of explained the point system too, I'm loving it because I believe it did get to a point where it was just based on ticket sales. So now they've said, hey, look, ticket sales is only 10% of the total. The rest of us, how'd you perform? Did you, how were you? I mean, I don't know what all the categories are. Best dressed, all this sort of thing,
It's a lot of performance and professionalism.
Yeah. It's the whole kit caboodle.
I was going to say, I love the way that they're breaking it down instead of just giving it to whoever sells the most tickets. But even beyond that, the way you said tickets and attendance, because we all know there was always the bands that got in these things that would just buy 200 tickets so they would win. I could never afford 200 tickets. I could buy
low you move that week.
I could buy 20 tickets. I could buy 20 tickets, and they usually didn't win. But anyway, I
Depended on how much crime you did, though. Sometimes you had a little extra.
Well, we don't call them crimes. We call them favors. Anyway.
Cocaine's illegal.
Not where I come from, is it? That's crazy.
I said I'm pretty sure.
Hold on. We went through this with marijuana. Let me go get some signatures. I'll be right back. We're going to change this anyway.
So, yeah, there's been years and years of this type of thing going on that, it's been called battles. It's been called all this. And trust me, sell 2 tickets, bring 20 people, and see how you fare.
Yeah.
So it does matter.
Yeah.
Even though we like to think it doesn't matter, it matters. And the whole reason I bring this up is because these guys need support. That's why they're here. They're here to tell you, buy tickets, show up, help us get to the big show.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing. The way it's set up, you got 5 bands going, right? You got 5 bands going. They're all bringing people. The show might be that night at Pops.
Yeah.
You might have a bigger crowd that night. So
that might be the better show.
Kind of worked out for us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, if you've got Pops packed and you've got 30 people in front of the Pops stage because everybody else is out waiting on 311, or you know what I mean? You get Pops packed, that place is rocking, man.
Yeah.
Plus, they have all new sound equipment there now. It's all line array, all JBL.
Oh,
it's
nice.
Beautiful.
Nice.
The whole stage, underneath, is packed with subs and everything. So, that that first bass note, just boom, and you're like, oh,
you feel it vibrating.
Yeah, you feel like you're coming in with an armada to just take over, And so that's a beautiful thing. But you're absolutely right in the fact that that night at Pops, because that's how we initially looked at it. I said I would never do a battle. I'm not wasting my time with that. It takes so much energy and all that kind of stuff. And why do we have to go against our fellow musicians in the community and all that kind of stuff? But now it's okay, cool. We're playing with Kevin Gruen. He's our buddy. We played with Atlas on Fire at Red Flag before. There's a couple other bands, Shatterfall and Halcyon, that we haven't played with or heard yet necessarily outside of what's online. But we're down to check them out and all that kind of stuff. So to sit there and say we're battling Kevin Gruen. We're battling Atlas on Fire.
I'll battle Kevin Gruen any day.
Yeah, right.
He's small, right? I've never seen him.
He's not necessarily small, but he's skinnier. But the cool thing too is if every band sells 100 tickets, there's 500 people there.
Yeah.
We don't care because we get to play that awesome show in front of those people.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we can win that audience over and get some new fans. Yeah. You know what I mean? Get some people to listen to our music, and that's what's all about. Is sharing.
I was going to say that is the point of festivals and the bigger shows. Is hey man. Look, not only do the 5 people that came to see me, but there's hundreds that came to see these other bands. So, my wife's going to see me again, and there's these other people. And we've talked about it on this show before. The whole thing was selling tickets. Selling tickets is its own talent, so I don't think that should be ignored by any means. Because getting people in the door, that's half the game right there.
For example, if you were going to play Red Flag on February 15th, you would have to sell tickets, right?
Nope.
They still make you sell tickets, right?
Nope.
You get what, like a buck of that, maybe something like that?
So Bob, who owns Red Flag, he used to have Foo Bar, and he's actually in a band, so he's very much in the industry. He works, actually the bass player in his band is one of the promoters in St. Louis, Mike Judy. Mike Judy Presents bring tons of big bands.
Oh yeah, we hear about Mike Judy a lot.
And like, so he's in the industry too, outside of just owning a freaking, an awesome facility. But he knows that, like, if you sell these tickets, then like you should get a cut too. So he does a lot of 50-50 splits, or he'll do like, hey, you got to sell a minimum of 20, and then anything after that you get to keep 50% of. So it's a profit sharing metric too that he realizes in that, because he's like, I'm in a local band, so I know how that's like,
Right.
All right, so that's good.
Man,
They're improving on the ticket sales too.
Hearing that any owners
Of course,
giving
our
you 50.
tickets were like $4.
$3.25.
And we got $1. So I mean, it's kind of the same.
I'd always hate it when it was like $3.50. It's like I gotta make change.
Back in those days, man, coming up with $4 wasn't easy.
No, it's a lot of
selling tickets
panhandling.
was just as tough.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the same thing, just different wage.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. Remember going and asking your grandma, "Hey, want to buy some tickets?" No.
So you guys are playing February 15th. Just to clarify that with Everfelt, Colton Coy Band, and Killer Burke.
Yep. We've played with Killer Burke before. Everfelt had actually reached out to us the end of last year, probably October, November, wanting to do a gig because they'd found us somewhere, and they're getting out there more and more. And then Colton Coy Band's actually here from Edwardsville. You guys should get them on the show sometime. They're brand new.
We had the
They're
last
recorded.
version of them.
Okay, gotcha. Right on.
Which
See,
I'm drawing a blank on what they were used to be called.
Sure. Yeah. Well, they do a lot of stuff with Nick Bufano over there at Harbor, and then Nate actually went to school with Colton, right?
Yeah. I went to elementary and middle school with Colton, and I think we had just went our separate ways, living wise after that, and seeing that we had a show with the Colton Coy Band, and Colton actually added me on Facebook, and I'm like, man, this guy looks familiar. And then I started looking through his profile, and I'm like, I went to school with this guy. I was like, that's cool.
I don't know why I thought he was going to say culinary school. He said elementary school. It took me by surprise. I don't know why I thought you were going to say culinary school. You don't look like a chef, but so he went on.
Could be.
So he went on to some good clean living, and you went into a life at the poultry. It's pretty much. Kind of what that's just what I'm picking up on here. I don't know.
Pretty much.
So before we move from Nate, I want to congratulate you on being a new father.
Oh, thank you.
Right?
Thank you. Yeah.
This is your second?
My second, my wife's first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a baby boy.
Poor wife.
Yeah, and
Baby boy.
Baby boy named Carson.
there's a rumor
last
out
year.
there that one of them is going to have their first show or has seen you guys.
Both of them.
Both of them have
Okay.
came and seen
Rock the
us,
Hops
yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both very big fans.
All
Well,
Actually, they're very
Carson's a
small fan. See.
Yeah.
He's
See,
a
I
little
was
15-pound fan.
I was thinking recent, because like I'm getting little feeds from certain people in the room letting me know some things I should ask on the show. Hey, I like this guy. He is vying for your job.
What?
100%. He's been doing podcasts. He knows how to do video, connect video. And it's like, why is Pigman even here?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
He does have job security because practice night for the Birds is Thursdays. So
That's the only thing keeping you out of losing your job, too.
And I think most bands practice on
legendary-
Thursday. That's why we're on Thursdays, to help me keep my job.
I mean, look at Chris. He is so much sexier than you.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for eye candy, sure.
I am.
That's
why he's on the camera.
Who isn't looking for eye candy?
He also shaved half of his eyebrow off the other day.
So if you look at my left eyebrow, I got some liner on there, a pen, and like this like fake shaving stuff. And like I was impressed. I was like, that's great. I dated a hairstylist, makeup artist for like 15 years, so I must have picked up something because I was like, oh, I'll wear glasses tomorrow. We got this big visitor day at my networking thing. There's gonna be 75 people there and all this stuff. And I was just like, if you don't know, it's not as obvious as one might think.
I thought you maybe was watching Pink Floyd The Wall and just kind of went crazy for a minute to go and shave the eyebrows off. I've been there. It's fine.
Yeah. No, it was an accident. I went to just shave my eyebrows just because I get so bushy like an owl, and I didn't have the guard on. I was like, oh, no!
I picture you like a wise old cartoon owl sometimes. You turn your head.
It's been cool though watching Chris, grow the company, connect video, and get into the podcast thing. We've had some conversations in the past about where he was headed with that, and so it's cool to see that's up and going now, right? You how long have you been doing podcasts now?
Yeah, so I've got I guess 2 clients that kind of mainly do it, and then at the end of the year we kind of did like a live stream to kind of recap 2024 with the birds at like my house. So we kind of did our own thing, and I've been talking for years about starting like a Birds of Squalor podcast, having local, kind of what you guys do, but an online version, and then cut clips out of it and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of help promote people, because I would love eventually to basically work with local bands for like social media and stuff like that, and kind of offer like, hey, let's work together to create all of your content and stuff like that. Actually, Jared over at Music Exchange, he's in a band with my buddy Olin, and I'm going to be shooting some reels and stuff with them, and then we're going to get together on that kind of thing, and then they're going to do a nice little solid trade on me and set up my guitar.
Nice.
Before the big show.
Yeah.
And shout out to Jared down there. He set up my guitar recently, and he did a great job. If you got a guitar, you need it set up. Not only does he do a good job, he does it quickly, which is important when your guitar is out of your hands.
Cool.
So there you go.
Right,
Yeah, well, that's a good endorsement.
It's been fun to watch, and I did notice that the Birds of Squalor had their own little podcast recently.
Yeah.
And it went so well that we were thinking about probably doing more of it.
Right.
Once a
So
month or
it won't
something.
be long till we're out of a job. But it was our idea, so they have to give us
You
props.
youngsters, you're taking our jobs.
We're getting old, so
Yeah,
we
yeah,
need
for
we
sure.
need some youth.
Yeah, well, you know what? What I love is seeing what I call the young people that are forming bands. And when I say young people, I mean 30s, 20s, 30s. There's so many bands in that sort of age group right now. And I felt like we did have a lull, but man, just so good to see the young kids getting out and playing music instead of just playing Guitar Hero.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. So what else is going on this weekend around town?
Oh, should I do some shows?
Well, I don't know, man. I
Borderline at Fast Eddie's, City Heat at VFW on Friday night, Grand Band at Baker's and Hale in Godfrey on Friday night, Travis Holt out at Locke's Brick House in Bethalto, and let's see, Synergy at the Moose in Wood River, Cree Rider at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville, and Money Shot down at Deutsch Village Inn, just to name a few things that are going on around the interior River Bend. And there's the exterior River Bend.
right.
Which we have a whole list of stuff for that too, but
Like the scruffy looking Nerf herder. I just like to say that name. It's just so much fun to say. Scruffy looking Nerf herder is playing at the Speakeasy in Granite City on Friday, 7 to 11. If I said the name, I guess I should finish it up.
yeah, you should. But we're here to talk about Birds of Squalor, who have been recording,
Yeah.
right? Tell us about that. What's going on? What you got? You just recorded and then quit? Are you waiting
I guess
for them
I was going to say, like, there's 3 of us. I joked about bringing,
I
like,
haven't
duct.
recorded anything yet.
Yeah, that's fair. But you're there. I joked about bringing
You're
duct
lazy.
tape.
tracks, man.
Lazy, man.
I'm just the cherry on top.
That's right.
Yeah, I joked about bringing duct tape so I can just, like, seal my mouth. Because the last time it was just me and Scrap the entire time.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, no more of that. Yeah, so we'd been writing for, a while. We basically slowed down to speed up. Was kind of the idea, and we started writing for, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years, and just had, we talked about it like several buckets of songs, and we kind of got down to the 10 that we're going to do, and then we went in and knocked out a drum day in November.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a drum day in November out at the new Firebrand. And
Great studio.
Built by like professional studio builders out of Canada and stuff. It's insane.
Nice.
Yeah, we what was it, 7 or 8 songs, I think it's 7. So we have 8 total.
7.
Yeah. So tell us a little about your drumming experience.
I mean, it went a lot better than the first time. That first day was what?
Yeah,
13 hours.
I think it was
For
longer.
Carrion, for
Yeah.
the EP Carrion, yeah.
But this round, we were in and out, all done in
7, 8 hours?
Yeah,
Yeah, just one day.
it was quick.
Yeah, we'd done a bunch of pre-production on this, and then what we ended up doing with Bivens this time around is we basically just hired him as a retainer, like person, so we're like retainer clients with him. And we would finish a demo, you know, at my house. He got an electric kit. We'd record on Reaper and all that kind of stuff, and just put these demos together. Did vocals, like kind of almost had like the full song more or less put together. And we'd bounce, you know, those over to him. He'd listen to them, give us suggestions. We'd go back and, you know, kind of play with that kind of stuff. And then, you know, we'd get the stems, send them over to Bivens. He'd kind of play with those. And then he brought them into the studio and stuff like that. And then we were just really prepared this time, so we knew exactly what we were doing. We'd all done our first, you know, kind of round of professional recording together and like with him and everything like that. And it just was so much more smooth this time around because everybody kind of knew what they were doing, and we were just more prepared on the front end of everything too. And then so we did drums in, you know, one normal day, and like one work day, not a 15-hour day. And then we've gone back to do rhythm guitars twice now, and we kind of flip-flopped it. And then we're doing bass on the 8th of February. Then we'll go do vocals. And then we'll do leads, harmonies, solos, all that kind of stuff last, and then wrap it up, and then start releasing, you know, the singles.
Nice.
I've been calling this our like sophomore year kind of thing.
Okay.
It's got that feeling to it where we're not so green anymore.
Yeah.
Especially together as a group
Yeah.
too.
Well, it's funny because now you've been through the experience of recording, so you know what to expect. You're not going in there blind, going, "What are they going to have us do?" You know, and they're like, "Well, first take off your pants." You know, or whatever. You know, I don't know. I don't know what producer. Yeah, I don't know what producer you work with anyway.
Well,
guy I work with insisted.
Yeah.
But no, also being together.
Yeah.
For that extra time as a band.
Right.
You know you gel better. You look at each. More's done with a nod and a wink, and less conversation sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah, and this time was different too in the fact that, like, so last time we all jammed together. Like, we had Jamie in an isolation booth doing vocals, and then we were all out in the live room, you know, just playing through, you know, our ears, and then had a click. And we just played together because that vibe for carrying was much more kind of like, you know, Bivens always jokes, he's like, Old Town Road, but, you know, Hellbound Road. And, and it was just, you know, more kind of like Southern rock, kind of like old school, so we tracked live, you know. This time everything was done in pre-pro to a click and everything, and then Nate just played to that, you know, so it's going to be probably a little bit more to the grid than the waveriness of the last one, but that's also kind of indicative of the style of music that this new stuff's kind of taking on versus what the kind of like more raw rock of Carrion.
Cool. So you're the first one, live jam with maybe some overdubs. This one more a skeleton, building it a piece at a time, layer at a time. Yeah, layer at a time. Which, you know, it will definitely playing to a click or metronome. It's going to tighten it up because if you fall off, everyone knows. But you know, it does also take that human feel. It's more of a machine feel, which certain music that's indicative of.
Right.
And you know, Miles Davis, that doesn't really work.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, just but you know, so the music that's on the newer recording you feel is better laid out this way.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of what Bivens was kind of seeing. He's like, you know, he had joked, he was like, it's going to be Grid City, you know, and you know, we'll have that little bit there, you know, because we're still, you know, doing the two guitars side by side and all that kind of stuff, so you'll have that natural, just human thing there where it's like, yo, this one's a little off and get that full stereo feel and everything. But performance-wise, just from us, too, like, I mean, since Nate started in 2018, 2019 to like us doing that recording in November, like to see the progression of a drummer that he is and how like much he was smashing that. He has this one fill coming out of one of our more ballady type songs, and he like every single time just like a freaking machine just and we're like, I don't know which take to use because they're all like perfect, you know, and like you're getting down to the weeds like, screw it, it's fine, you know.
Let's choose a ball, man.
And it was a weird thing too because like, you know, for whatever reason we have this consistent issue in the day that we have to go record drums. And the last time I was going through a pretty rough relationship breakup, you know, for like 15 years and stuff like that. So, and it was like I found out the night before that like there was some other funky business going on, and then like that whole day I had to keep there for the troops. And then this time, like that morning, I'm like calling him like, hey man, do you need this? And I could tell he was like sick, and I'm like, oh no, are you not feeling good? And he was like, nah, my wife's grandma just passed away like 20 minutes ago. And it's like, it's like we're never gonna break this.
Yeah, that was a hard one on all of us, all the family, and yeah, it was like 20 to 30 minutes before I left the house, and I felt guilty leaving, but we couldn't really reschedule.
Right.
I just kind of had to go with it, but she was all right. We're all right, and we powered through it.
So the producer's name is Bivens?
Yeah, it's Nancy's son.
Right.
Okay, so
I,
A good producer would have looked at you at that day and said, "What's your saddest song? We're going to use this. We're going to use your emotion." You know, I mean, I'm just saying, like, when I was an actor, the producer would always say, you know, we're going to do a sad scene, and I'd think, all three Stooges are dead, and I'd be so sad, you know, and it would, no, I don't know. Hey, I'm just saying, use the emotion, bro. Sorry to hear about grandmother-in-law.
It's okay.
Yeah, okay.
She was a very great lady and did a lot for us.
I hope she gets a shout out in the, you know, in the outline. Oh, Granny, this song dedicated. This song's dedicated. This song called "Heartless." I don't know.
we don't have any sad songs on this one though.
Yeah, I was gonna wait to kind of talk about kind of like the heart and soul of the new music that's gonna be coming out. Just because I like to look at things in more so like concepts, especially since I'm more the lyricist. So you know, Carrion was a lot about like addiction and you know, kind of getting over that hump and then falling back into it, those kind of concepts. This one is definitely more about going to war with yourself. So it's very there's a lot of very heavy songs in it because the concept is that like even like our color palette has changed from like the oranges and the browns to more of like red, white, and black and that kind of stuff where it's, you know, it's visceral. There's a lot of very visceral songs. Like the first song is gonna be called Anxiety because it's in, and my whole thought process is when I was writing the lyrics was, what does it feel like to have a panic attack? Because I want the people to listen to it and understand what it feels like when you're in that moment, you know, worrying about everything that you possibly can't control. And there's nothing you can do about it but just write it. And it's those kind of things that lyrically and conceptually that I've really kind of driven to construct the rest of the songs forward from there. So
not so much a sad concept, going to war with yourself. It is sad to go to war with yourself, but it's not a slow, sad, sappy. It's more of an anger, like I'll
it's not
get you.
Woe is me. Yeah. It's more like a I'm pissed off. You know,
I think of it more like dun 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 reality. No,
and there's some and like one of my favorite songs. I'm just gonna drop the title here. It's called "Hymn of a Martyr," and it's there's this whole moment where it's like there's this the first half of the song is a defeat. It's like I am stuck in like this dark room with no lights kind of thing, and that's kind of how the song starts off and feels. It's almost like you're giving a funeral to a past self of yours, like a past version of yourself.
Right.
And then there's a change in the song, and the change.
Proggy.
Yeah, the change becomes very very prog oriented, but the change happens so quickly and so heavily that it's like this. I don't have to be this person. And, you know,
it's breaking out of that shell.
Go, you know, get out of here. You know, this is it's a metamorphosis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
it's the Wizard of Oz going to color.
Yep.
It's that moment. Alcoholics call it a moment of clarity. I don't know what I call it. I'm not an alcoholic. Those guys go to meetings. So again, though, "Hymn of a Martyr." Right off the bat, I go, well, you said this isn't sad. That sounds sad.
It starts off sad.
But it's more of a anger with your, being, fighting, like you say, going to war with yourself, where you have those moments of really realizing you've let yourself slip into something you don't want to be, and you have to fight to get away from it.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't kick my way out of a wet paper bag, so I'm not getting out of anything too hard. A dark room, let's say. Yep. Great visualization. I as you were describing it, being in a dark room and stuck in it, because most humans have been there. Mm-hmm. We're all human. We're all capable of human emotions, except you psychopaths. And hi, Mom. No,
anyway, it's gonna evoke some emotions because when I was writing it, I put it in D minor, which is like the saddest of all keys. so it's like okay, we don't so it's gonna start off this way, and it's so it's gonna evoke those emotions regardless, just because of the music and what that key does to people. So, but it's not like woe is me sad. It's just kind of more of I don't know. It's kind of Broadway-ish almost, like it has this very theatrical kind of like feel to it, especially the way that he sings it and everything like that. But I'm excited for people to see that change. We played a version of it one time at Halloween with 1781 at Post Commons, and like, I mean, it starts off as kind of like your, kind of rock ballady thing, but in D minor, and like there's literally a black metal section in it for the guitar solo. It's that proggy, So,
when you guys brought up click track, I knew you guys had an edge to you anyways, and heavy. And to me, that's something that needs to be in heavy music and prog.
Yeah.
Because, timing is essential to those. And when you're playing a lot of drums, you need to stay in that pocket.
You can't do the Black Sabbath waiver.
Exactly. And,
you leave Bill Ward alone.
Hey, that's my favorite band.
And that's what makes it heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, when those stops are right on, and and there's lots of that going on in metal. So and prog.
Yep.
So yeah, I knew he was going to say when he's like, well, let me get into these songs. I'm like, he's going to say heavy. I'll bet you. Yep. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, we're excited for it.
And emotions can be heavy.
No, for sure. Yeah, I mean,
it fits the songs.
Yeah.
It fits the songs for sure.
Yeah, they're not ballady. As you said.
Yeah. The beginning is kind of ballady,
is that
but
a word?
I mean, I'm Shakespeare over here. I make up my own things.
Put a stamp on it.
Well, and you made the comment. It was wrote in D minor, the saddest of all keys, as we can agree. This is just a comment on that aspect of you saying it's not sad, but yet it's the hymn of a martyr, and it's in D minor, and it starts off, the not like when a lot of musicians use untangible words to describe things. It's warm, it's cozy, it's soft, it's it's bouncy. I found just had this conversation with some musicians last night, discussing what makes different music. What makes jazz? It's not just a 7. What makes country? It's not just playing a 5th. I mean, there's all this other stuff that's very. And at the end, I kept saying I believe it's cadence that really changes a song, because I guarantee if you sang Hymn of a Martyr, I guarantee if you sang that, if you slowed it down Pink Floyd style and sang it like you felt sad about it, it would become a sad song.
Yeah.
But if you sing it like a triumphant, if you sing it with that, it becomes more, and it's not about the necessarily the progression or the heavy, the cadence and the attitude at which you approach a song is really determines the feel and the style.
It's so funny that you bring this up, because this is one of the things that I've been talking about potentially doing for like the podcast, just asking people like what makes like metal. I asked Jamie this the other day. I was like, what makes metal? And it's truly just an aesthetic. It's like that's what this is. It's just it has like that down tune kind of thing to it. But I mean, a lot of the songs that you listen to, like that I even listen to, it's just like if you pop up if you put this more into like a pop kind of thing, like okay, boom, it's a pop song, And it's true. And I like your answer of cadence. I hadn't thought about that necessarily, but just kind of having those aesthetics in there that are just like, oh, that is metal because. But if you were to play this on piano, all of a sudden I don't even know, is this a Billy Joel song?
Right. Well, and it's the same progression. You might change the tempo, the beats per minute or whatever, but it's really the attitude which you put forth, and that was. The question that started it was, what makes reggae? Sure. Is it a one drop? Is it the upstroke doing the and I kept trying to, like, at the end of everybody going around about, I would say, I believe it's because you feel that it's reggae.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes from the cadence and the vocal stylings a lot of times.
For sure.
As much as it is, we used a pentatonic scale, so this is rock and roll.
Right.
I mean,
blues or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
You can play anything in any key, and you can, it's not so much about that as the feel which you put forth that really determines the way. Plus, there's what I call the ear of the beholder.
And that's what I was just about to say. Just because we think it's not sad or kind of like that thing, it does not mean that somebody else is going to hear that and say, "What do you mean? That's a terribly sad song."
Yeah.
And
it's all what somebody hears. Like I say, I call it the ear of the beholder. If you went to Anne Murray and said, "What's Snowbird about?" and you probably don't know who Anne Murray is, or Snowbird, but I'm giving a weird reference. Sometimes people say, "Oh, it's about getting old," and other people say it's about freedom. Anne Murray don't know. She didn't write it. But every song is different. It means what the person hearing it thinks it means.
Yeah, and sometimes like giving less information is better, because then they can make their own. Yeah, exactly.
If you make it too specific, then it can't be about them.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that's what he's really good at with his lyricism and stuff like that. We have "Light Where You Live." I don't remember if you remember that one, but it's kind of our ballady song off of there's a word again. Off of Carrion.
I like it.
And we have a version we want
Bad
to.
pinning.
Yeah, we have a version that we want to actually record with Bivens here in the near future, and it's rockabilly. It's Johnny Cash, you know. It's the same chords and everything like that, same lyrics, everything. It's just doom jet. So once again, that cadence aspect.
Yeah, and I really took note of it because I have a song that I think of as a triumphant song, and one day I wanted to get to know it better because I play it very riffy and I'm not very good, and so I sat by myself and tried to play it unbelievably slow, and I went, oh, this is so sad. This is not supposed to be a sad song at all. And it's been a while, but it started putting it in my mind about how much our own ideals determine what something, you know, is it country, is it rock, is it jazz, you know, and more than really a set, you know, textbook sort of thing.
Yeah.
See, I get stuck on metal itself. I mean, that could be 50 different directions right there.
Absolutely.
You know, before Metallica, there was a different kind of heavy metal.
Yeah.
You know, before that heavy metal, there was a different kind. And now they got new metal, pop metal.
Yeah, the subgenres of metal is just the most insane thing ever.
It is.
John Lennon invented doom metal when he did "She's So Heavy." I don't know if that's true.
So Black Sabbath wasn't playing doom metal.
I mean,
I didn't say they weren't playing it. I said
that's my
they
point,
didn't.
though.
Yeah,
you know, you could go back to
yeah.
you know the originators and be like, now wait a minute, what was Sabbath playing? Because it's all jazz beats.
Or was it down, 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 down? Is that the first heavy metal riff?
Yeah, right. So who knows? I did recently do a version of Born to Be Wild that we called Born to Be Mild. We slowed it way down.
Love it. Love it.
So is that metal though? I mean, I don't know.
It's
down tuned with the right aesthetic. I mean,
yeah.
It's almost like, okay, distortion. It must be metal. But there was a time, you know, our band was considered metal, but we'd play with metal bands and metal fans hated us.
Yeah.
Because we didn't growl.
Yeah. Metal fans are the biggest, like, haters of metal. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, if you
self-hating metal,
it's the worst thing ever. And like, as I've grown up, I've just been like, it's just, if it's good, it's good. If it's not good, it's not good. I don't care about these genre things anymore. And like, oh, it doesn't have this or like that. You know, it's like, you know, we can get most of the shows we play. We're the heaviest band, but there's some shows we're looking at doing this year where we're going to be like the most sugary band. You know,
which it's good. It's good to play both ends. You know, that way you know where you want to be.
Yeah.
I always want us to be diverse.
Yeah.
I consider Birds of Squalor a rock band.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, that's what I went with. I just went rock, but, you know, once again, there's all these versions of rock, too, isn't there? So, I mean, it doesn't, you know, to actually name something, I think, is misleading in most cases. So the best thing to do is just listen to it and you decide what it is.
Bingo.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I think, too.
I'm the same way with my lyrics as well. Because like Chris was mentioning earlier, I like to write lyrics that are not just about personal, like exact dates, exact times, exact emotions, or exact experiences. I want to make it vague enough where anyone can listen to it, and I want to listen to them tell me what it means to them.
Yeah, he knows what it's about deep down inside, but it's poetic enough that anybody can kind of say, oh, this reminds me of my grandma Joan, the time that she put soap in my mouth and then, you know, never gave me a stale butterscotch again.
It's funny, I wrote a song that reminds me of Grandma Joan, too, but it's totally different. Totally different. I'll tell you about it later. Hi, Grandma Joan. No.
There are a lot of songwriters say, you know, it's not my song anymore once I release it.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that is a great mentality to have. Is once you put it out there, it belongs
to the world.
You know, when I got to meet the Grateful Dead, I don't know if it was on air or off air talking to them, but I said, man, what do the record companies think of you guys letting everybody record? Like, they just paid you to make an album, and now you're letting everybody record it the next night. And they said Jerry flat out told the record company and everybody, look, once we put it in the air, if somebody catches it, it's ours.
Yeah.
There's nothing. And
from a marketing standpoint, it was the best thing they could have ever done.
Well, that's what he said. He told that Garcia told the band, look, if we give the music away for free, they'll buy enough T-shirts that we don't have to work.
And that's what people have to do nowadays.
know?
Like, people don't make money off of, you know, buying concert tickets or albums. You have to sell merch. You know, you have to be on the road. And like what you were saying about the once it's kind of out there, Hymn of a Martyr specifically, we went back and forth on that song more than any other song with everybody's kind of ideas. You know, there's probably, 8 versions of it out there. Yeah. And, you know, when we were going to recording, like actually do the drums, I was like, you know, hey, this is like the last time eating this cheeseburger before that song was solidified for time, you know. And of course we make alterations over time. But yeah, I mean, like I've been saying this whole album cycle, like, song is never done. We have to give up on it, guys. We just have to let it go. And like once it's done, and like you're saying, like it's out there, it's okay. And it's you've got the baby, you've taught it everything it needs to know. Now it's time to leave the nest and go out there and do its own thing and let everybody else experience it.
Even though when you listen to it again, you hear that one mistake and cringe. You go, why are we even letting people listen to this? Because it's not yours anymore.
Right.
That's why. You know, and,
Right.
Yeah, I just recently got several emails over the last few years about our original demos, which I'm completely embarrassed to listen to because I hear all the mistakes and the clutteriness and the bad recording of it. But I can't convince those people of that because it's the greatest music they ever heard, and they want it, so it's up now. It's on the website, our original demo.
Nice. You got to send me this. I know we talked about it last time, and that one football team that took it and they've been using it and everything. But yeah, I mean, a mistake to one person is a piece of art to somebody else. So it's just like you hear that thing, but they're like, "This is the best thing ever," Yeah.
And in most cases, it's the one song that you never think is going to be the song that everyone falls in love with. Mm-hmm. And you're like, why are you falling in love with that piece of crap?
Yep. And that's as someone who's writing the song, that's sort of a blessing and a curse. Anytime any musician that I know says, "Hey, I like that one song of yours," or "I like that one," I immediately will go back and dig up one and go, "Really? There's something like you like about that?"
Yeah.
But when you have a song that you don't, after you write it, you kind of, I don't know, I don't like it, but the band goes, "No, I like that one." Mm-hmm. Like, really? This is the dumbest one ever, And you kind of want to give up on it, but then there's that party going, "Well, they like it, so maybe there's something to it that I don't even see." So it's kind of a blessing and a curse when that happens. I think it's like,
Yeah.
Talking to Birds of Squalor this evening. They're playing February 15th at Red Flag with Everfelt, Colton Coy, and Killer Burke, and then on February 28th, the Road to Pointfest. And I'm glad you said that one band's name because I wasn't sure how to say it.
That's like 80% certain. I don't actually know. I think it's Halpin. But
Halpin. Okay. Yeah. And Atlas on Fire. That's easy. What's a BOS? I don't know what that is. Anyways.
That's boss, bro.
Shatterfail and Kevin and the Collective Consciousness. That's Kevin Grant.
Yep. Once we saw that, I was like, nice.
Nephew of Cottonmouth guitar player.
Yep. Yeah, they're both the Gruins are in cool projects.
Yeah.
What was I just gonna say? I can't keep going.
Okay, that's great. So yeah, they're out there trying to move some tickets, trying to get you to show up so you can come out and support them at either one of these events, and that will help them out greatly. And that's why they're here. They're not here to see us.
That's not true. That's not true. But yes, February 28th, we need as many Altonians there to represent. We're actually going to support some of our bands that we like playing with all the time. We're not going to pick favorites or anything, but we're going to buy tickets from them and go show support at some of the other Road to Pointfest shows too.
You can say it age 7. You can say it. It's age 7.
Exactly.
That's all right.
Go see some of the other bands and everything like that too. So we're going to be out there showing support. I wish I could do more actually getting out there and just kind of like seeing other bands and stuff like that. And I feel guilty all the time always asking for people to come but not be able to participate, physically there as much as I should or want to. And that's something I'm wanting to change here in 2025 too. So
that's cool. And we could balk on all this Road to Pointfest and be like, no, it's a different station, blah 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 blah. But once again, we're supporting our people, our local bands, and great. I'm glad the Point's putting something cool on.
I was going to say, and I will support another station that's doing something that involves local bands and doing something cool like that. It's
Yeah. But we've seen it a lot over the years. It's like I'm not going to go watch that band. I'm competing with that band.
Yeah.
It's like get over that, folks.
That's not a good mentality to have.
No.
No.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so there you go, man. Birds of Squalor hitting it hard this year, going with the new album coming out. Man, that is some exciting news. I think it's going to be sadder than what you guys think.
Hey,
I don't know.
We'll find out.
I don't know.
We'll have to get a review from you.
Absolutely.
So we'll do a quick Saturday go over here. Lazy Lester out at Bakers and Hale and Godfrey on Saturday. The Pickin' Daisy's going to get back together at Bossa Nova on Saturday from 7 to 10 right here in Alton. We got a chicken and beer dance with Billy Hurst. You can't ask for more chicken and beer than Billy Hurst.
Right.
$35. That's for charity. It's some type of trip. I don't remember, for some youth. He's raising money for, and that's going to be at Rolling Hills Golf Club in Godfrey. Tracy Inman, we talked about that recently. He's doing the Refinery Bar in Wood River. Bad Habit going to be at the Pump House in Wood River, and Whiskey River doing their debut at Chico's in Wood River. Cabin Fever doing the Tri-County Rod and Gun Club in Grand Pagano, up at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville. The Rockin' Rascals will be down at Deutz Village Inn in Pontoon Beach, and the Fleetwood Family Duo at Jacob Myers in Granite City. Lots of stuff happening in Edwardsville as well, including the Melodies. They do original music. They're doing backstage in Edwardsville, and
Nice.
lots of other great stuff, including Skylark Brothers Duo at the Mossy Stone in Edwardsville. If you haven't checked out that venue and you're a cover band, you might want to check it out. How about the Madison County Fair Chicken Fundraiser Dance? They like a lot of chicken.
A lot of chicken going on, man.
That's Shotgun Creek. That's Jeremy Drake. That's in Highland.
That's
So,
Jamie Dunn. No, I'm
I was never here.
so-
you know, I've never seen you and Jeremy Drake in the same place at the same time. I'm starting to think you're the same.
Back to BOS.
BOS.
Yeah, Birds of Squalor. So you guys did a collab
Yeah.
with the Greek god.
Zeus Rebel Waters, the ex Ruckapuff.
What was that all about? Zeus Rebel Waters is his name, and
Yeah.
so explain what that collab was all about. It's on your BOS Facebook page, probably Instagram
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, so quite a unique experience, honestly. So Zeus, we had done a show with him, was it last year or 2023? Anyway, in the past couple of years, we did a show over here at the conservatory, and he used to be like a rapper. His stage name used to be Ruckapuff, and he would, hang out with like Nelly and that kind of thing. So he's been kind of in like the rap game for a minute, and then he's kind of changing over to do more R&B, and now he's just exploring new things. So he's doing rock and metal and country and all this other kind of stuff, and just playing around and working with a bunch of different producers and just doing this kind of stuff. Well, he ended up finding himself in Jelly Roll's studio with one of Jelly Roll's producers, Andrew Bayless, who does stuff with like Co Wetzel, who is the old drummer of Attack Attack. He has a band now called Enriched Something, but the guitarist from Attack Attack is somebody you might know called Bill Murray.
Oh, yeah, I saw him in Caddyshack.
Yeah. Well, there's another band called Bill Murray that's kind of blown up right now that mixes metal and country. Anyway, but he does. Andrew Bayless does stuff like Brantley Gilbert, Co Wetzel, and Jelly Roll. So he's won like multiple awards and everything like that. And they had produced 2 songs together. And Zeus hit us up and was like, "Yo, I need a band to play on these songs, or whatever, and make these videos with you and everything like that to kind of promote them and whatnot." So we chatted on the phone about it. He said it could be a cool opportunity, all that kind of stuff, and you're really good at what you do. I know you're about content and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys could come out and, do this with me, I think it'd be sick. So we found a date. Luckily, it worked out just so happened all the cold weather went away. It was the first 50-degree weather of the year, pretty much. And then we went out to the Malcolm Martin Memorial on the east side of the river with the arch in the background and stuff like that. Super awesome spot. And just filmed a couple of reels on top of the monument. And those turned out really awesome. And then we sent them out, and we just had the demos, right? So these weren't like, okay, we're just going to try a bunch of different things or whatever. Like, these was just demos. These aren't mixed. These aren't mastered. They're not outgoing. There's no data or anything like that. And then we released them this week, and Andrew Bayless actually texted Zeus, like, okay, let's get this mixed and get this out there, because it's had a great response, because he's like, I don't know what I want to do. And I was like, man, like, this is very modern. Like, this kind of stuff is great, and your voice sounds awesome and everything like that. So it's just a really cool experience. Once again, that collabing thing, we've had multiple people like our page and vice versa. And then we actually had some people reaching out asking to do collabs with us. And then I've had some video work leads from it. So like, those collaborations are huge, and that's just one more reason to, everybody should get together versus.
Exactly. Beautifully said, Chris Bandahay, and I want to thank you 100%. I had a very tough day today. I was constantly moving and working, and I get to my Facebook page to do a quick 5-minute research, and he sent me a bunch of things I might want to touch on, and the only thing I haven't got to is Zach.
Zach?
Is that what it says? Jack.
Oh, Jack, yeah.
Jack.
It was scribble. I told you, I wrote fast.
Yeah,
I don't know
you're
why
good.
I said Zach.
No, it's all good. So Jack, the founding guitar player, the last original member and everything. He moved to Arizona back in 2021 and 2022. 2021, 2022, I don't know. He moved to Arizona, and we have not been able to go see him. But this March, we have a date. Everybody's called off work. We're going. We're finally going to Arizona to see Jack.
Nice. Set up gigs out there. They like the heavy stuff in Arizona.
We haven't got that far. I think this time just going to kind of go check out the area and stuff like that, because they even said just for a weekend there's no way
Come on, Jack.
that we're going to be able to do everything. But he's got a new band down there doing punk rock stuff. He'd actually messaged me a couple weeks ago saying, hey, can I play the old music? I'm like, it's your band. It's your songs. I don't know, right? What do you mean? You can, of course, use those. Yeah. And he's excited for him to show his band, Jamie's vocals, because Jack's back to singing again. So we're just going to go check it out. You know, there's not a way we're going to be able to do everything. There's too many tacos down there to eat to be able to worry about playing a show. But I mean,
says you.
We're right. We'll make it plenty. We'll make it down more than this. It's, you know, one of those things you go the first time and you're like, I'm addicted. Let's go every 6 months or something. So we'll get it figured out.
Well, man, thanks so much for coming down, guys.
Thanks
Best of luck at the road.
Thank you.
Best of luck at the road to Pointfest. Everybody get those tickets. Where do they go again to get the tickets?
Me. Or they can go to popsrocks.com, battle road to Pointfest, but pick Birds of Squalor.
Yeah.
Birds of Squalor.
I think it was like $1.15 surcharge, so like $11.15.
There
Yeah,
you
come
go,
to us.
man.
We got good deals.
So there you go. Everybody get out and support them in their road to Pointfest. Thanks so much for coming down. Look forward to the new album. Thanks to Halpin Music Company and Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance for sponsoring this. I believe it's time for some Illini football. So everybody, Illini football. I said football. As soon as I said it, I knew it was wrong. Illini basketball. Everybody get out and support local music and art.